Hey friends, as we're in this preparation for restoring our gut, restoring our heart, restoring our minds, and getting ready to dive into the nutritional aspect of this, something that I have found along the way working with many clients, as well as working with myself and with my family, is low stomach acid seems to be insidious experience that many of us have. Interestingly enough, many of us don't know that we have it. And in quick, short side note, if our HCl production is low due to a multitude of reasons, one of the main being stress experience or a perception of reality, and that disrupting our gut-brain access and reducing our ability to create HCl. What starts to occur is with reduction of ability to create HCl, we also have a reduction in expression of pancreatic digestive enzymes. Your stomach chyme, the mixture that goes into the small intestine after being mixed in the stomach with HCl, needs to be at a certain pH to elicit the release of pancreatic enzymes to be released into the small intestine to help further breakdown of foods so that we can uptake them into our system. And when HCl is low, that doesn't occur nearly as well. It can lead to things like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It could lead to parasite and fungal infection, as well as a bacterial dysbiosis. It could lead to GERD, so acid reflux. It could lead to global inflammation in the body and autoimmune response, an immune response to proteins that have not been properly digested, and then an immune response to those proteins, and those proteins that are similar in structure to tissues in the body then attacking itself or said tissue that is essentially mimicking the same structure of protein. So needless to say, HCl production is exquisitely important, and it's kind of a chicken or the egg scenario in the sense that as HCl production lowers, that also lowers, as we've just gone over in short, our ability to digest and assimilate said foods, which reduces our ability to uptake certain minerals and nutrients to help us produce HCl. So the cycle causes some significant issues, and as well it feeds on each other. So what I've noticed doing restores with myself and with clients is one of the ways to help support this process is to support your own HCl production through exogenous intake. That means from the outside in, to help support your own inside-out HCl production. So I want to go over this protocol with you. You can see in the handout from this week the contraindications for this specific protocol and other things you can do in place of that, which I will go over as well. So you simply want to get a HCl pepsin product. I linked a pretty good one that's also low in expense, so easy to receive. And what you want to do is follow the protocol here. So you're going to take one HCl capsule in the early part of the meal, and I suggest that you take that after a few bites. So you take a few bites of your food, then take your HCl, and then continue to eat your food. You want to make sure that you're eating food after the HCl to make sure that it gets down through the esophagus into the stomach to make sure that it ends up exactly where it needs to be. I've had an HCl pill get stuck in my esophagus, and it is not a fun experience. So you take it at the early part of your meal, and you're taking one per meal to start with. And essentially what you're doing is you're paying attention when you take that one HCl with the meal. The meal also needs to have at least 4 ounces of flesh. So this would be a flesh meal, making sure that you have beef or chicken or salmon or tuna or turkey, etc. Okay, so a minimum of 4 ounces. You take it with that meal, and then you're paying attention after you eat the meal. You're paying attention to see if you have any noticeable warming sensation in your stomach. It's a little challenging to explain what that feels like. You'll know it if it happens. My experience is that it's a slight warming sensation. Okay, so you're having this 1 HCl for, let's say, your 3 to 6 meals or 7 meals, however many meals you eat, one meal, making sure that it includes flesh foods, and you're checking to see if you have any of these effects, this warming effect. So let's say on day 1, at all of your meals, you've taken 1 HCl and you haven't felt anything, you haven't noticed anything. Okay, cool. So the next day you repeat. Try it again with 1. As you can see there in step 2, if no side effects, after 2 to 3 days, increase to 2 capsules. So you do it for 2 days, you don't feel any warming sensation or any burning sensation in your esophagus. You do that for the second day. Still nothing. Cool. Day 3, you increase the dosage. You increase the dosage by 1 capsule to 2. You have 2 capsules per meal, and you follow the same protocol. 2 per meal with flesh foods, and you pay attention. Do I feel any do I feel any warming or burning sensation, etc.? Okay, you do that for another 2 days. Still nothing. Then you move to 3 capsules, and you continue on until you feel a warming or burning sensation. Now, caveat there is this. Let's say you get to 4 or 5 capsules, 5 capsules of HCl pepsin at around 650 milligrams. If you get to 5 and you still don't feel any warming or burning sensation, you don't need to go above 5. That won't be useful and won't be helpful to anything above 5. So if you get to 5 and you don't feel anything, then you are going to indefinitely stay at 5 capsules per meal with flesh food until you start to feel this burning sensation or mild warming sensation. Now let's say you get to 3 capsules on day 6. And you start to feel this warming sensation, and you feel that at each meal that you have the 3 capsules. What that implies is the proper number for you to take is 2 capsules. So you feel something at 3, that implies that proper number is 2. You would stay at 2 indefinitely until you start to feel the same warming sensation that you felt at 3, that you would now feel at 2. Once you feel that same warming sensation at 2, which could take months, then you move to 1. And then you use 1 indefinitely until you feel that same warming sensation again to move you to 0. Now let's say you got to the 5 and don't feel anything. You would continue to take 5 until you start to feel a warming sensation, and then you would move to 4. You'd stay at 4 again until you feel warming sensation, which could take months, and then you move to 3. What's happening is as you're using HCl, you're starting to digest and assimilate your food and the nutrients. So over time, you will start to produce your own endogenous HCl, which is why the capsules at 3 that don't cause anything will eventually cause a burning sensation because you're creating your own HCl. And then you move to 2. So the reduction in capsules is actually a sign that your body is healing, that you are digesting and assimilating and starting to take more nutrients on board to create your own HCl. The HCl will also help with pancreatic enzyme release. Okay, so that's the protocol with HCl. Now, let's say you take one HCl pill and you get an amazing burning sensation immediately. That could be a sign that your stomach lining has been pretty damaged over time and that you may need to use a lower dose HCl pill protocol. So we're talking now about around 600 to 650 milligrams per HCl pill. You may need to find one that has 200 to 250 per pill and go through the same protocol process. You'd start with the 250 milligram pill. You'd test that for the 2 days, 2 to 3 days. No burning, then you'd move to 2 pills, etc. And slowly move up that way. So that is the protocol for HCl pepsin. I'd like to also invite you to consider that as you work your way down, you may work your way down like I have to 1 capsule. I still use 1 capsule at most meals with flesh food, and I still do not get a burning sensation with that. I have at times worked my way completely off of all HCl pepsin, and when I've done that, then I've switched to digestive bitters. My favorite digestive bitter is something called Bitter X by Quicksilver Scientific. My other favorite is Iberogast, which you can easily get on Amazon. And you would take about 20 drops of Iberogast prior to a meal. And with the Quicksilver, you would take 2 to 4 pumps prior to a meal, and that will elicit a similar response in terms of HCl release. I would start with the HCl protocol first. It's a little stronger, it's a little bit more potent, and it will help with digestive enzyme release, especially with those who have had low HCl for a very long time. The bitters may not elicit HCl release or enough of it, or you may not have the nutrients on board to create it, at least in the amounts that we need. So I would keep HCl pepsin on hand indefinitely. A problem with this protocol is many people will start it and they'll be on 4 capsules per meal. They'll do that for a month or 2 and then they'll just stop. You want to work your way off of this protocol. So you want to work your way down to 1 or none HCl pills at your meals. Another thing you can try if you don't want to do the HCl protocol, or let's say you've taken the lower dose 250 milligram pill and that causes issue, then I would definitely suggest bitters for that person. Again, Quicksilver Scientific Bitter X and or Iberogast. That person's stomach may be damaged enough that we would have to use bitters to elicit this response in a slower fashion. You also have the poop chart by our good friend Helen Patterin. As you're considering doing this protocol, I'd also consider looking at that poop chart and looking at any of the ones that is demonstrating potential low enzymes, digestive enzymes, which would come hand in hand with low HCl. Some of what Helen is showing you there is that you may have low HCl as well as low digestive enzymes, so you might need digestive enzyme support too. So my suggestion would be, if you do look at that poop chart and you do need enzyme support, I would suggest doing the HCL protocol indefinitely. That could take years to work yourself down to one pill. And I would use the digestive enzymes as a protocol for the length of time that you decide to do Restore. So if you decide to do it for a month, order a month of enzymes. 2 months, 2 months of enzymes. 3 months, 3 months of enzymes. And use it as part of the Restore protocol in conjunction with the HCL protocol. So I hope that makes sense for all of you. You can read the contraindications, and you can also see the nutrients that you may want to potentially supplement with as well, and or look up foods that are high in those nutrients that may be low in HCL production. Okay. I also put a write-up around seed with my discount code. I would highly suggest that as you're doing the Restore protocol and preparing for that, HCL protocol and enzyme protocol, I would suggest ordering from seed and using it again in conjunction with the length of time that you decide to do a Restore. So if it's 1 month, order 1 month worth. If it's 2 months, 2 months, 3 months, 3 months. And give that a roll and see how much change will occur in your body, in your mind, in your heart, in your pain, in your digestive systems, in your skin, etc. So I hope that all makes sense. I appreciate you all being here. I've linked to some easy products for you to get and use while you're doing the Restore protocol. And good luck in your preparation. And talk soon, friends.